Paris, known as the City of Light and Love, is a place where magic and history meet on every corner. From the iconic Eiffel Tower to the charming streets of Montmartre, Paris is a city of endless discovery. It's famous for its world-class art, cozy cafes, and stunning architecture. Whether you're cruising down the Seine or exploring an ancient palace, Paris has a way of stealing your heart. In this video, we're diving into the 50 best things to see and do in Paris. The Louvre Museum is like a giant treasure chest in the heart of Paris. It's filled with cool stuff from all over the world, like the famous smile of the Mona Lisa and the awesome statue of Venus de Milo. Walking around here is like going on a treasure hunt through history, where every painting and sculpture has its own amazing story. Going to a show at Theatre Nanterre-Mandier is like stepping into the future of plays and performances. This place is all about showing off what's new and exciting in theater. It's a spot where stories come to life in ways you've never seen before, making you laugh and think, and maybe even cry a little. Walking through the Marché des Enfants Rouges, Paris's oldest market, feels like jumping into a painting full of colors and smells. It's a spot where you can try foods from all over the world and chat with locals who come here all the time. It's like a little trip around the globe without leaving Paris. Checking out the art at the Centre Pompidou is like diving into a pool of wild and wonderful ideas. The building looks super modern, and inside, you'll find all sorts of art that might make you go, huh, at first, but then it'll wow you. From paintings that look like dreams to sculptures that could be from outer space, it's all about seeing the world in new ways. Tasting cocktails at Frequence is like being a judge on a cool cooking show, but just for drinks. Every cocktail is like a mini adventure for your taste buds, made by people who really know their stuff. It's a cozy place to hang out and sip on something fancy while the city buzzes outside. Are you ready for the next fun adventure? Visiting graves at Cimetière du Père Lachaise is more interesting than it sounds. It's like a park, but with statues and stones marking where famous people are buried, like writers and singers from a long time ago. It's quiet and a bit spooky, but in a good way, and it makes you think about all the stories these people left behind. Eating at Le Clarence is like being in a fancy movie about kings and queens. They serve food that's all about showing off the best of what France can make, in a house that looks like it's from a fairy tale. Every bite is like a little piece of art that tastes as good as it looks. Exploring Belleville's Combat is like walking into a living, breathing art gallery. Belleville is a mix of everything Paris has to offer, all mashed up into one cool neighborhood. You'll find street art, tasty food from around the world, and music that gets your feet moving. It's a place to see what's new and exciting in Paris. Tasting French pastries is like biting into little pieces of heaven. Imagine walking into a bakery filled with the sweet smell of baking and seeing rows of the prettiest treats you've ever seen. Chocolate eclairs, fruit tarts, and fluffy croissants. Each one is a bite of the yummiest flavors of France, perfect for making any day special. Let's discover more fun things to do in Paris. Having a picnic at the Eiffel Tower is like chilling in the shadow of a giant iron lady. Grab a blanket, some cheese, and a baguette, and you're set for a relaxed afternoon. It's all about good food, great views, and watching the world go by with the most famous tower in the world hanging out with you. Discovering secret passages in Paris is like stepping into a hidden world from old stories. These covered walkways tucked away from the busy streets are full of quirky shops and cozy cafes. It feels like finding secret shortcuts through the city, each with its own surprises. Strolling along Canal Saint-Martin is the perfect way to see a cooler, laid-back side of Paris. With its pretty bridges and tree-lined paths, it's a favorite spot for locals to hang out, read a book, or just enjoy being by the water. It's a little slice of peacefulness right in the city. Attending a macaron making class is like unlocking the secret to making the most adorable French sweets. Macarons are these colorful little cookies that look too cute to eat. Learning how to make them is fun and a bit tricky, but you'll feel like a pastry chef when you get it right. Exploring the Musée Carnavalet is like time traveling through the history of Paris. This museum is all about the city itself, showing everything from ancient artifacts to paintings of what life was like hundreds of years ago. It's a cool way to see how Paris has changed and yet somehow stayed the same. Are you ready for more? Walking along La Petite Ceinture is like discovering a secret garden path that used to be a railway. It's a bit wild and overgrown, with flowers and trees taken over, but that's what makes it special. It's a peaceful walk where you can forget you're in a big city. Sailing an electric boat on Canal de l'Ourcq is like being the captain of your own little adventure. You don't need any experience, just a sense of fun. It's a cool way to see the city from the water, gliding past parks and under bridges all at your own pace. Creating your own Parisian perfume is like mixing up your own magic potion. With the help of a perfume expert, you'll combine different scents until you've got something that's all you. It's a special souvenir that's totally unique, reminding you of Paris every time you wear it. Learning French wines at a wine tasting session is like going on a tasty tour of the French countryside without leaving Paris. You'll get to try wines from all over France and learn what makes each one special. It's a fun way to become a bit of a wine expert and discover your new favorite. Enjoying cheese tasting in Paris is the ultimate way to dive into the world of French cheeses. From creamy brie to sharp Roquefort, you'll get to try a little bit of everything and find out what goes into making each cheese so delicious. It's a cheesy adventure that's as fun as it is tasty. Let's get you some extra fun things to do in Paris. Laughing with the How to Become a Parisian in 1 Hour show is like getting a hilarious crash course in being French. It's a super funny play that makes fun of all the little things Parisians do. You'll laugh a lot and maybe even learn how to shrug your shoulders in true Parisian style. Dining in a traditional Parisian bistro is like stepping into a cozy little spot that feels like old Paris. Think of wooden tables, a friendly waiter, and plates of the yummiest French food like steak frites or duck confit. It's the kind of meal that makes you feel all warm and happy inside. Apéro time from a rooftop bar is like watching the sunset with Paris at your feet, holding a fancy drink. It's that special time in the evening to chill with friends, snack on some olives, and just soak in the beauty of the city lights starting to twinkle on. Experiencing immersive art at Atelier des Lumières is like walking into a dream where paintings come to life all around you. The walls and floor are covered in light and color, moving to music. It's like stepping inside a famous painting and looking around. Looking for the 100 villages of Paris is like going on a treasure hunt through the city's hidden spots. Paris is full of little corners that feel like tiny villages, each with its own vibe. You might find a quaint square, a secret garden, or a cute little cafe that's away from the crowds. Let's get on the next adventure. Riding a bike around the city lets you see Paris in a fun and fast way. You can zip along the river, breeze past the sights, and feel the wind in your hair. It's the perfect way to explore more corners of the city and feel a bit like a local while doing it. Trying a chocolate show from Angelina is like sipping on liquid gold. This isn't just any hot chocolate, it's thick, rich, and super chocolatey, like a hug in a cup. Making a day trip to Versailles is like stepping into a fairy tale. The palace is huge and full of gold and glitter, with gardens that go on forever. It's a peek into the life of kings and queens from long ago, with enough beauty and history to make your head spin. Visiting Les Deux Plateaux, also known as the Colonne de Burin, is like finding a playground of stripes and columns in the middle of a historic courtyard. It's art that you can walk on and around, making for some pretty cool photos. It's a fun mix of old and new Paris all in one spot. Seeing the Medici fountain in the Luxembourg Gardens is like discovering a peaceful hidden gem. Surrounded by trees with statues and water that seem to whisper stories of old, it's the perfect spot to sit, daydream, or just enjoy a quiet moment in the middle of the bustling city. Are you ready for more? Finding Paris' most recognizable Art Nouveau facades is like going on a hunt for the city's coolest, curvy, and most artistic buildings. These facades are like giant pieces of art with beautiful swirly designs and colorful tiles that make you feel like you're in a fancy old-world Paris. Climbing the stairs to the top of the Arc de Triomphe offers a workout with a reward. When you reach the top, Paris stretches out beneath you in all its glory. It's a view filled with landmarks and little streets all leading off into the distance. It's breathtaking and totally worth the climb. Visiting Avenue de Camus for Eiffel Tower views is like finding one of Paris's best-kept secrets. It's a spot where you can snap that perfect postcard picture of yourself with the Eiffel Tower in the background without too many people around. It's a little slice of Paris just waiting to be captured. Attending a pastry class in the Ritz is like stepping into the shoes of a master chef in one of the most luxurious hotels. You get to learn how to make delicious French sweets in a kitchen where experts make magic happen. It's a tasty and fancy adventure all in one. Walking through the Tuileries Gardens is like taking a stroll through a painting. With neat paths, statues, and fountains, it's a place where Parisians and visitors alike come to relax and soak up the beauty. It's a breath of fresh air and elegance right in the heart of the city. Are you ready for more? Enjoying ice cream at Bertillon is like tasting a piece of Parisian summer. Known for its rich flavors, a scoop or two from this famous spot on the Ile Saint-Louis makes for a perfect treat as you explore. It's creamy, dreamy, and absolutely delicious. Seeing the classic Moulin Rouge show is like stepping into a world of glitz and glamour. With dazzling costumes and high-kicking dancers, it's a spectacle of color and excitement. It's a night out that's all about celebrating the fun and fantasy of Parisian nightlife. Visiting Paris's cutest cafes is like peeking into the heart of the city's charm. Each cafe has its own personality, with cozy corners and steaming cups of coffee. It's where you can sit back, relax, and watch the world go by, feeling a little bit Parisian yourself. Walking the Canal of Saint-Martin is like finding a secret path through Paris. With its pretty bridges and waterside paths, it's perfect for a leisurely stroll or a lazy afternoon. It's a bit of peace and quiet away from the hustle and bustle, where the slower pace of life is the real charm. Going to Disneyland Paris is like diving into a giant box of your favorite stories. It's a place where you can hang out with famous heroes and go on awesome rides that zip and zoom. From dazzling shows to fairy tale castles, it's all about big smiles, big fun, and making memories that sparkle. Let's hop on the last part of the best things to do in Paris. Are you ready? Going up to Montmartre on this hillside tram is like taking a mini adventure to the best view in Paris. It's perfect for saving your legs from the steep climb, and getting to the top feels like unlocking a secret level in a game with the Sacré-Cœur and stunning city views as your reward. Stepping into the catacombs is like wandering through the pages of a mystery novel. With tunnels lined with ancient bones beneath the city, it's a spooky but fascinating trip into the hidden side of Paris, where history is literally written on the walls. Watching a performance at the Opera Garnier is like stepping into a world of gold and velvet. It's not just about the show, it's the whole experience of being in one of the most glamorous theaters, where every detail is a piece of art. Joining a cooking class in Paris lets you bring a taste of the city home with you. It's all about having fun with flour and butter, learning to make classic French dishes or perfect pastries, and then eating your homework. Delicious. Meeting famous faces at the Greb and Wax Museum is like walking through a celebrity time capsule, but in wax. From historical figures to modern stars, it's a quirky way to see famous people up close, perfect for some fun photos. Spend a day at the Jardin d'Acclimatation Guénénau-Wada. This amusement park is a mix of old-fashioned fun and modern rides. It's set in a beautiful garden. It's great for a day out with the family, or just to feel like a kid again, with plenty of green space to relax into. Hunt for vintage treasures at the Saint-Ouen Flea Market is like treasure hunting in an open-air museum of curiosities. You never know what you'll find, from vintage fashion to antique furniture, and haggling is part of the fun. Enjoy a Seine River cruise at night with the city lights reflecting on the water is pure magic. It's a peaceful way to see the landmarks of Paris illuminated against the night sky, feeling the romance of the city all around you. Catching a movie at Studio 28, Paris's oldest cinema, is like stepping back in time. It's a cozy place to experience the charm of French cinema, with its historic auditorium and a garden for intermissions. Having a picnic in the Parc des Buttes-Chaumont, with its waterfalls, cliffs, and temples, is like escaping to a magical garden. It's one of Paris's most beautiful parks, perfect for a lazy afternoon of just enjoying life.